So Jada Pinkett Smith is on a publicity tour to promote her new book called Worthy, a book that she initially intended to call Unlovable. And though her book is more than likely going to reveal in more detail various traumas from childhood on up that have ushered in that spirit of deception, this media tour is really just another example of how she and Will have been playing in people's faces for years with their perversions of the truth.
That in 2016, you and Will decided that you were going to live completely separate lives.
Yes.
It was not a divorce on paper,
right,
but it was a divorce.
We live separately. What is going on? Now, first of all, I'm really shocked because, mind you, I'm not there. We haven't called each other husband and wife in a long time. I'm like, what is going on right
keep
now?
my wife's name
out of your mouth.
Poor Will because of
the adulterous wife.
Yeah.
Who forced him to go to the table and sit there, you know what I mean? And now look at what she's done. She has the power with an eye roll to make him go up and slap somebody on stage.
We started talking about, we came into this false romantic concept that somehow when we got married that we would become one.
And if you haven't peeped what they're trying to do, here's a hint.
When Jada and Will begin their annual indoctrination tour,
the false narrative that I helped to create on the red table.
Why you always lying? Oh my God, stop lying.
Will and Jada's marriage is something that has sparked many questions throughout the years, and even more so when Jada's entanglement with August Alsina was revealed, where under the guise of mentorship, she saw nothing wrong in befriending a young man over 20 years her junior, someone who has publicly struggled with not only his physical health, but mental health as well, and using him as a pawn in the game that she and Will have been playing. Then, less than 2 years later, we see Will's public meltdown, where he made a conscious choice to put hands on Chris Rock for one of his unfunny jokes that Will himself initially laughed at. An action that was such a farce that it still seems like Will was participating in some sort of hoax, even if no one else was in on it but himself. These two have lied constantly about their marriage, when for years we've all seen the evidence. And regardless of the verbose ramblings they spout during interviews, where professing themselves to be wise, they become fools, trying to change the beauty and sanctity of God's institution of love and marriage into an unrecognizable horror of corruption and dishonor.
when they said Will and Jada were #couples goals.
I want a real love, that Jada in that real love.
Get somebody else to do it.
We all know that marriage was ordained by God to be a mirror of Christ's awe-inspiring, unselfish, redeeming love for his people, the church. The latter part of Ephesians chapter 5 gives a blueprint of what marital love is actually supposed to look like. It's a picture of a love that is so nourishing and cherishing that the two become one, so that a wife's submission to her husband is not a measure of subservience, but something as instinctive as breathing and eating, because the husband is loving his wife as himself. The wife is reverencing her husband, and joined together as one, they are blessed and free from mistreatment and the imperfections that come with misuse. Marriage is an honorable promise and the bed undefiled. It's not this broken, wounded, damaged thing that Will and Jada keep presenting to the world, trying to gaslight people into believing that they have something that transcends what God has put into place. When really, what they have is a perversion that has left each of them in a place of compromise so deep that Jada was contemplating ending it all and had to abuse her body with substances to drown out the pain. Will, a massive ball of insecurities and hurt that has him on a self-destructive spiral, eviscerating all traces of the man he dreamed of being when he was a child, leaving both of them blind and impotent to the various traumas that their own children have faced, which has been revealed through how both little ones mistreated their own bodies. Jada is living a life so full of resentment that almost everything she does is an aggressive act of scorn towards Will. Professing to be modeling a love so powerful that she will always have his back, while her actions and words constantly tear him down. Will is so mired in the delusion of his own superiority that the lack of restraint with which he lives his personal life has spilled over into his public life. They're both so busy trying to be the savior for themselves and each other that they're denying the fact that their salvation is only in Jesus. Whether they know what spirit they're of or not, this indoctrination agenda that makes a mockery of marriage is another way that the spirit of Antichrist tries to stop others from realizing the true measure of love that God has for us. It's designed to make people ignore the fact that God is the source for every good thing they've ever desired, and instead settle for less than God's best in their lives, and to proudly trumpet that acceptance while inwardly never experiencing the fullness and completeness of God's transformative love. A love that makes barren places fruitful, restores the years, performs great and mighty works and wonders past finding out. A love that makes us overcomers in battle and is the complete victorious answer to every situation that we could ever encounter. Thanks for watching.